Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to Lawnpreneurship. We talk about lawn, landscape, snow, irrigation, really just green industry as a whole, the business startup, management, growth, knowing your numbers. Marketing is a huge thing, probably one of the most important things in a business, and that's something I really like to focus on as well because that's what I'm really good at. And just it's overall a really cool place to be. So welcome aboard if you are new, and if you're existing subscriber, thanks for subscribing. Anyway, if you guys like this kind of video, let me know in the comments below. Like it, subscribe to the channel. But what you're seeing here is a quick snippet of what's to come in Lawnpreneurship 101, our massive online training platform that is going to be coming out very, very soon within the next few weeks here as of early November 2016. If this is in the future, feel free to check out the link below, get more information on it. There'll also be an annotation somewhere on the screen. And let's get into it. What you guys see on the screen, I hope, is partnerships, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. A lot of especially for the younger guys that are under 25 or so, really seems like a good idea to start a business with a partner, like with your buddy or whatever. And I actually had done that a few years back, going on almost 5 years now. My buddy and I were 20 or 19 or something, and it seemed like a great idea at the time. And good friends beforehand. Now we're enemies. We basically hate each other. Long story short, real quick right there. But we both had our strengths and weaknesses. He was really good at operating equipment. He had access to the equipment. He lived on a farm, so he had like skid loader and dump trailer. I owned a heavy duty truck, and I had just a half-ton truck and mowing setup. But I was also really good with marketing. I was really good. I still am really good with marketing, but doing the proposals and all the administrative things, as well as just really all the office stuff, managing the numbers and pricing and things like that. And we had kind of talked about it and like, all right, let's do it. So we registered an LLP, did that, so which was good. That was a very good thing because it kept our assets separate. I'm very glad I didn't take my existing landscape company and form it into a partnership with him. That'd be really bad. But we ended up landing a deal with a house flipping company to go in, and after all the fact, or all the work or whatever after the fact, all they do, their siding, roofing, and interior stuff, we'd go in, remove the landscape, replace it with what they had wanted, and then we'd clean up the yard or put in new sod or whatever. And we also were doing other jobs as well, doing a few patios and a few other just miscellaneous landscape projects, as well as a little bit of maintenance stuff as well. And we ended up grossing more in the first month or two than I had done the whole previous year. Granted, the previous year, which was my first year in business, I was working a job from 7 till 2:30, whatever, so I'd only have a few hours every single day to work, and then on weekends I'd have time to work. But we absolutely killed it that first year, and we both had more money than we had known what to do with once we all got paid. That was one of the first hang-ups, was the pay terms for the house flipping company were net 30, and we didn't get any money up front, and that's what my partner really didn't like about it at all. We knew we were going to get paid because I had met the owner of that company through a trusted friend or a neighbor, something like that. I don't remember what it was, but word of mouth was the access of that job, how we got it, or how we got that gig, I should say, with the company. So I knew we'd be paid. We weren't going to get screwed or anything like that, but he didn't like that idea, and we were also doing the other job, so we had plenty of cash coming in, but he didn't like that idea. And the other thing was that I'll kind of show it here on the slideshow, he wanted to basically take the money and take the profit and go spend it on his life and on his lifestyle, as I would call it. Go out and do fun stuff, whatever it may be. I wanted to take the money, reinvest every single penny back into growing it and new equipment when needed, but mostly add a lot more advertising, more and more advertising to get the name out there, because that's what I like to do. I like to, if I'm going to start a business, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to make it, just start it, I'm going to make it fucking blow up. I want to start it, put every single second of time I have in a day that I can into it, and put every single penny that the business makes back into it until it's making a nice healthy profit, and then I can take a nice salary and all that. But his vision with it was totally opposite. He wanted to take the money and basically have this as his side gig, because he wanted to work his construction job Monday through Friday, and that didn't start until like a month after we had started doing work, because spring came early that year, and then we didn't agree with that, and he wanted to take the money and then go spend it on fun stuff, whatever. He also had a lot of bills. I kept my expenses very, very low, and it was kind of just, things were just like a volcano starting before it was about to erupt, and things weren't very good. But the reason I'll mention here with, as you see on the screen, with partnerships, the opportunities that are offered with it can be greater than just a one owner business. You guys can combine your capital together. One person may have more skills than the other one, or one has a skill set that matches the other one. One can be really good with coming up with ideas. One can be very analytical. And that leads into just having responsibilities dictated and delegated among the partners. Usually one thing that's common in landscaping or really construction type industries is one's really good with doing the work, doing the stuff out in the field and managing the crews and all that, whereas another is really good with sales, marketing, as well as knowing the numbers and all that sort of thing with the business. But the business is only going to work, if both partners recognize that there is balance within the business, and that they are one aspect isn't going to function without the other. You can't go out and do any work if the other part of the business isn't selling the work. It's just not going to happen. So that's one of the big disadvantages is one partner may think that, oh yeah, we can, you're only in the office, you're not out here getting dirty, you're not working hard with the rest of us. Well, without me doing my part is of going out and meeting with these customers and selling jobs to them and managing marketing to get more leads coming into the business, you guys wouldn't be able to go out there and do the work. So it's something that has to have balance. And oftentimes because of that, partnerships end before they even take off, which is a huge bummer. But another thing that can really wear down on a partnership is working long hours together, and potentially you don't get paid until 6 months in. You may not even see any money, or it depends on what the type of business you're doing. And if both people have the same vision to grow the business, then chances are, unless they want it to be their side gig, they're going to put everything back into it and not take a salary for a few months. But yeah, you can basically set up a business or a partnership as a general partnership, similar to a sole proprietorship. That's something I probably wouldn't ever do, because then your assets, your personal assets are not protected from the business. So if something were to happen, you can get sued and lose all your personal assets. That's why you do an LLP for that sort of thing. But basically back to the whole story is we ended up doing a good number of the house flip jobs and as well as a few other of the one-off projects, and then doing maintenance and bringing in all this money. But then as the volcano started to build, my partner wanted to be working his construction job and wanting to then go out on weekends and stuff, while we needed to do our projects on the weekends as well as during the week. And there were even some days that I'd be out there working, managing the guys, and he would be out at the bar or whatever with some of his buddies. And it's like, this isn't, one, it's not fair. Not that I'm going to sit there and complain about something not being fair, but it's both partners need to be out doing the work to get it done, because we have a massive lineup of stuff to do. So that's one thing that we both started arguing about, and basically that just kept building up the volcano. And then when we would finally set it off was just being with each other so much. We ended up just absolutely hating each other. He wanted to take money to go spend it on fun stuff or on his truck or whatever, and I wanted to take it, I wanted to invest it into more marketing and doing that sort of things, because that's what's really important, especially in the first few months of starting a business. You have to market, and even 5 years down the road, you still need to be marketing, because you need to be able to be growing if that's what you want to do with your business. And that's what I wanted to do. He wanted to have it be as a side gig. Long story short with that. And we didn't agree. So got 4 different concepts basically of what you should basically think about with you and a potential business partner. Be sure to know your partner very, very well. What's their vision for the company, and in the future, what's yours? you guys have to have the same vision. If someone doesn't have the same vision, it's not going to work. Run away. As good of an idea as it may sound, at some point someone's not going to be happy, because either they're going to have to work like crazy and they just wanted to take out a few grand every month to spend on going out and having fun, or the other one is going to be mad because they're sitting at bringing in only $8,000 a month, and they want their business to be doing $100,000 a month. That's just the nature of how it is. People are different, and also you need to make sure that you know how they will react when they're at all emotions, whether they're happy, mad, sad, or stressed. If, say, for example, an unhappy customer comes out while they're on a job site and confronts them about tearing up the turf with a mower, will they explode in their face and start yelling and swearing, making you guys look like a bunch of idiots? Or will they be basically calm, cool, and collected and use logic to say, hey, yeah, sorry, we messed up, we'll get it fixed as soon as we can? It's something in business you got to think with logic. You can't just be some hothead volcano type person that goes out and screams at everybody. It's not going to work. And acting on emotions is something that you can't do in business. It's just not going to work out. If you want to read something about that, I'm sure there are a million different articles online about that. But basically, if you're blowing up on someone, it's going to ruin things not only in the short term, but the long term as well, because they're going to go tell everyone they know that this guy from this company yelled at them when they were asking them a question about tearing up their turf or getting dirt on their driveway, whatever. So the next thing is analyze their spending habits. This goes in basically with their vision as well. Do they want to take the money out right away and go spend it on fun stuff and like I would call it their wants, or are they going to only take out as minimal as possible so we can keep the business going, keep it growing, and basically just buy the needs, take a really low salary in the beginning so they can focus on getting money back into the business to reinvest it so it can grow, so later on it can pay you that nice salary, whereas and you won't have to be out there doing the work. You can have your employees out there doing the work where it's not as labor taxing. But for a quick example, if the business account has, say, 50 grand in it, I know this might be a crazy example, but would your potential partner take that 20 grand and say that, oh, that's not even half of the money that's in there, still got 35 or 30 in there or whatever, let's go spend it on whatever. It could be a vacation, it could be going out on or going and buying another truck and you don't even need it, or going and buying a piece of equipment that you don't need. Would they do that? And that's something you really need to know. If your vision is to conserve cash and put it into things that are needed when they're needed, and the other person wants to go blow it, then things are probably not going to work. And before the business entity is even launched, be sure to define each other's roles. If some guys are more operation focused and the other ones are more administrative and marketing and that sort of thing focused, things may work, but they will only work if you guys both realize that there's balance within the business. One aspect is not going to operate correctly unless the other aspect is operating correctly, and vice versa. Basically, if I've said it a million times, you can't go build retaining walls if you don't have someone that's marketing for those types of jobs as well as selling to customers and getting the contracts. And basically, ideally, if instead of having to, and this really even pertains to your business now, if you're just a solo or just a single owner, if one person is doing the administrative tasks, it's best to just spend that half hour or an hour every single night just to get it done. That way it doesn't bottle up at the end of the month and then you have 12 hours of stuff to do. And then the other partner, if this is a partnership, the partner's all mad that, oh, you're doing all this paperwork and you should have been doing this before, and that's how arguments start. And so the last point I have is, if possible, both partners should basically, if you're starting from scratch or something really close to it, you should have your own personal vehicle that you use to go to the grocery store or whatever, and the other partner has the same thing to do that, so you each have that, and then you each put in the same amount of money to invest in the startup equipment as well as the marketing and things like that to get the business off the ground. And that way, if the business doesn't work out, you guys aren't fighting over the assets. You just sell them and just split the money and take it and move on from each other. That's probably one of the best things to do if you are starting a business with a partner, just because you don't want to get into a huge argument and potential legal battle or whatever with someone who you already don't want to spend any time with, and you have to figure out how the heck you're going to split up these assets and all that. So that's the video for today. We're going on a little bit longer than expected, almost 15 minutes, but hopefully you guys got some value out of this. And if you guys like this video, be sure to like, hit subscribe below. Check out Entrepreneurship 101. There'll be an annotation somewhere on the screen, as well as a link below. With that all being said, hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.